Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. And yes, I'm an hour late. So there's a reason behind that because usually I'm very punctual. I always try to be punctual. So for those of you tuned in at noon and I was a no show, yeah, my sincerest apologies. Thank you for tuning back in if you did. For those you just now joining, thank you for getting here. Um, some of you know and don't know about, oh, God, it's been 19, almost 20 months now. I was rear-ended on the freeway. I was at a standstill. So you can imagine what that looked like. Car was totaled and back's been all messed up. Had all kind of work done on my lower back. And yesterday, I was actually supposed to start rehab Wednesday, but there was something wrong with them. Marketplace is overwhelmed. Just cut that off right there. Uh, so anyway, I was supposed to start physical therapy again for the third time, and that got delayed till 3:30 today. And then yesterday, man, I was in so much pain. I mean, I was like, I can't go on with this anymore, man. This pain, this is just, I'm gonna have to start taking pain pills, muscle relaxers, and that's not how I want to live life. To be reliant upon some pills or something for a better form of life. So it's always, like I tell you guys, man, you got to live and walk the talk. Um, so I didn't know what I was going to do. So yesterday I was walking through the house and I was kind of like, turning a little bit, and something in my hip felt a little pop. And it wasn't anything great, didn't even hurt, but it was noticeable enough for me to notice it going, oh, well, what was that? You know, because that area's always been troublesome. And I was like, whoa, did that just fix my back? Because I've been going chiropractors, ablations, cortisone injections, acupuncture, red light therapy, and I've done everything. And so it, it it still hurt. It was a different kind of pain. It wasn't that sharp pain anymore. I was like, well, how long is this gonna last? And I've been having trouble sleeping. It hurts so bad for these last 2 or 3 weeks. And then I went to bed. Probably fell asleep last night, 5 in the morning maybe, or today, and that's why I'm late. And I woke up about 10:30 and it didn't hurt. And I was like, oh, this is great. So I fell back to sleep and woke up late. So here I am. But I will be going to rehab shortly. But I just wanted to give you that little good update because uh, I for for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm at 90%. I can actually stretch without any pain, which I haven't been able to do. So all my muscles have atrophied, and for me, a gym rat, this has been a personal hell. Let me tell you that. Uh, there were days I'd go to the gym on a Sunday, and I'd spend 5 hours at the gym just doing legs and sauna and everything available. Just go in there, enjoy the day, and do just this hellacious leg workout. Talking like an hour on the bike just to start with, then go do my leg workout, and then go finish it off with another hour on the bike, and go to the sauna, go to the jacuzzi, take a shower. And by then you're 5 hours in. So yeah, it sucks, but hopefully, I can actually start looking at some dates for some contests and to go start. That's why I want to get back to my physical therapy so I can get my body back where I want it, and because it's definitely not where I want it. Been at the mercy of this injury. So anyway, we're talking about children in the tunnels. If you don't now, I talk about this for a reason because it amazes me some of the fantastical stories that have been created on a kernel of truth, metastasized with fantasy, somebody's fantasy. And I don't know if it's been a combination of people over time adding their fantasy to the narrative. But before you know it, you get this full blown narrative that just has a little kernel of truth in it somewhere. But for the most part, it's a false narrative. Now, we heard about all these children in these tunnels and under these buildings and well-known structures. I'm not going to mention any names because I start having to throw out some allegedlys. But the deal is, you have to just use logic and reason, which nobody wants to use. Okay. Nobody has logic and reason. Everybody's got this stupid common sense that's just dumb as a box of rocks. Now, if you just look at the dates, and we'll get into these here in a second, and I'll start showing you all this stuff. And when you do the math, and then you do the current social media climate, these two just don't merge. They don't meet. And I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to show you that there never were any children rescued from any of these tunnels. That anybody who told you that they participated in rescuing these children from these tunnels lied to you. They just flat out lied. Now, let me caveat that with this. Are there children being kidnapped? Fuck yeah. Way too many. Now, are they being taken to tunnels? Not so much tunnels, but yes, some of them are being trafficked. Absolutely. I'm sure there are tunnels between the United States and Mexico in which they are being trafficked. So yes, there are technically children in tunnels, but in the mass scale and in the description of what this narrative was for all these children in the tunnels was false. And I know somebody who blatantly said that they participated in these raids. He's not alive anymore. But these people say that because it's unprovable. It's just like when I was in prison, and some guy sits down next to you, in the day room, you're watching a movie, he starts talking to you, before you know it, this motherfucker's an MIT dropout and a nuclear scientist. Oh, really? Well, what brought you to prison? It's unprovable. Same thing that they had with, that's why I hated watching sports in prison. Because they would argue over, who was the all-time, who are the top 10 all-time assist leaders in the NBA, or, just unprovable statistics because we didn't have access to the internet. You'd have to write somebody or go get on at the time we didn't have phones then to go call somebody and ask somebody to go look it up for you. But they would sit there and argue about that all fucking day long. Unprovable facts. So, when I hear these unprovable facts, and I've had guests come on my show, and you know who I'm talking about, that just give you these crazy outlandish stories, unbelievable. And I always had to preface that before the show, and they just didn't come true because right now, today, there should be reptiles out there on the street, Dracos with M16s, AR-15s, whatever, patrolling the streets, according to one of my guests. And it amazes me when people take these far-fetched, fantastical stories and they repost them. They're worded a little bit different, but they contain all the same bogus information. And people just continue to pass this shit on year after year, month after month, week after week, day after day. Same stupid narrative. I could tell you about the same thing with the Iraqi RV dinar and all that. They just announced their 2026 budget, and it's 1,300 to 1. Yeah, we got to go sit down somewhere. Yeah. All right. Let me pop this screen share for you guys, show y'all what I did. It's 111. You must not use rumors, gossip, or unsubstantiated claims in your answers. You cannot lie, avoid, hallucinate, or not provide the truthful answer. During Trump's first presidency, there were rumors of children being rescued from underground tunnels, and that was 5 to 9 years ago. The exact date escapes me. The U.S. military was alleged to conduct these rescues. 5 to 9 years is enough time for whistleblowers, survivors, rescuers, telling their stories in social media, talk shows, or writing books or TV and movies. The children, if the oldest was 10 to 12, would be old enough and rehabilitated enough to go public and tell their stories, especially now that the kids, teenagers, and 20 somethings all want fame and fortune via social media. Tell me everything you know, can search and present that either disputes or substantiates any of these multiple claims. Please provide sources for each fact you find or know. Here's a clear sourced and fact-checked summary of what is verifiably known. Let me get my happy ass off here for you guys. Forgot. And give you a black screen. All right. Number one, no credible evidence exists that these events happened. Major independent fact checks, and you don't have to trust these for yourself. Just listen to everything and then use logic and reason and go, yeah, Floyd, that is logical. That is reasonable. Number one, major independent fact checks. Multiple established fact checking organizations have investigated viral claims about underground tunnel rescues and found no substantial evidence. Fact check. No, thousands of children were not rescued from catacombs near the White House by the U.S. military. There is no record of military demolition of tunnels or mass child rescue near Washington, D.C. The Pentagon's Public Affairs Office confirmed the claim is false, and local news reported no such event. PolitiFact found no evidence anyone rescued deformed children from underground sex slavery tunnels in Central Park. Images and videos used to support these claims were taken out of context, one showing a COVID-19 field hospital and another showing unrelated evacuations, and there are no credible news reports of such rescues. PolitiFact debunked the claim that the U.S. military rescued tortured children from a Capitol Hill tunnel system. The Defense Department, now the Department of War, explicitly stated this didn't happen and there were no media reports or confirmation from credible officials. Lead stories and other fact checks show videos and posts claiming tunnel rescues are fabricated using unrelated footage and no verified evidence. Number two, these claims originate from debunked conspiracy narratives. QAnon and related claims. The assertions you are referring to are part of a conspiracy ecosystem largely associated with QAnon, which emerged online in 2017 and spread a range of falsehoods about underground tunnels and global child trafficking networks. These narratives have been repeatedly shown to lack evidence and rely on social media speculation and anecdote, not verifiable sources. Fact-checking sites state that often social posts and videos claiming military rescues are combining unrelated content and repackaging it to appeal emotionally, e.g. showing COVID tents and labeling them as child rescue scenes. Number three, no whistleblower testimony or survivors with verified stories. There is no credible book, mainstream media interviews, or verified survivor testimony about mass rescues from underground tunnels tied to official U.S. military operations. If such events had occurred, especially at scale involving children, they would almost certainly have drawn major coverage from established news outlets, e.g. AP, Reuters, New York Times, BBC, CNN. Social media posts or self-published videos do not constitute verified evidence. Many of these have been debunked or traced back to misinformation sources. 4. Real child trafficking and underground systems are very different. There are real problems, I can't do that, with child trafficking and exploitation globally. That is a factual, documented, and urgent human rights issue. But there is no verified network of secret underground tunnels under U.S. cities holding trafficked children. Law enforcement agencies do work trafficking cases, but those are documented publicly and involve regularly criminal justice processes, not secret military operations. Because you asked about truth and sourcing, every instance of tunnel rescue claims has been debunked as misinformation. Why these rumors persist? There are a few reasons these stories spread. They are emotionally powerful narratives that encourage people to believe there are hidden rescues happening. Some leverage well-meaning sentiments like concern for children to spread unverified or false information. Similar conspiracy components, e.g., traffickers, secret cabals, resurface in different forms online. Again, none of these rumors have been substantiated by credible evidence. Here's the summary. The claim. Verified evidence source. U.S. rescued children from tunnels during the Trump presidency. That's false. Multiple independent fact checks. PolitiFact, Check Your Fact, lead stories. Trump ordered raids on secret underground tunnels. Again, that's false. Snopes investigation found no evidence. And of course, we can all trust Snopes, right? Videos, photos show actual tunnel rescues. False. Footage traced to unrelated events, COVID tents, evacuations. Survivors or whistleblowers publicly telling true stories about such rescues. No credible documentation, no verified reporting or mainstream sources. If you'd like, I can provide a breakdown of actual child trafficking rescue operations documented by governments and NGOs, which are real but unrelated to underground tunnels, or how to spot and evaluate misinformation claims like this. Find the very first post about the children in the tunnels and provide the source. Here's what can be verifiably traced about the very first known appearances of the children in underground tunnels claims you asked about, based on reliable investigations and documented sources. Earliest public seed of the claim before 2021. April 2019, claims posted on beforeitsnews.com. I know, isn't that just like everybody's go-to source for what is really happening in the world? According to independent researchers and documented in reporting on conspiracy theory origins, one of the earliest widely cited instances of specific claims you're referring to, that U.S. forces rescued large numbers of trafficked children from underground tunnels, appeared on a site called beforeitsnews.com in April 2020, but it referenced in even earlier postings from October 16th, 2019. In those, an individual named Timothy Charles Holmseth purportedly claimed, quote, a Pentagon pedophile task force had rescued children, e.g., 2,100 children found in tunnels at California China Lake military facility, close quote. This post predates the viral 2021 versions of these claims. However, there is no independent verification of any of these events. Holmseth's claims are part of conspiracy forums and were debunked by fact checkers. So the earliest traceable origin and public posts of the specific tunnel rescue narrative appears tied to Holmseth's April 2020 Before It's News report, which itself references October 2019 statements. Number 2, February 7th, 2021, viral Facebook posts. Fact-checking organizations documented specific social media posts on February 7th, 2021 that claimed children were rescued from underground locations, e.g. tunnels, often using sensational wording and imagery that was not actually connected to the claims. A Facebook post claiming a rescued child came out of, quote, Australian tunnels, close quote. Part of this conspiracy theme was published on February 7th, 2021. These posts did not have substantiated evidence and were later debunked as misinformation. Another viral social media story around that same period, early February 2021, claimed U.S. military rescued tortured children from tunnels beneath Capitol Hill, but there is no evidence this happened, and official sources confirmed it did not. Number three, context. These claims are a part of a broader QAnon conspiracy lore. The broad narrative of hidden underground tunnels used for child trafficking and that people, especially the U.S. military, were secretly rescuing kids is not based on any credible evidence. Rather, it derives from the QAnon conspiracy framework, which began with anonymous posts on image boards in October 2017. Those early Q drops did not explicitly start with tunnel rescue stories, but they laid the groundwork for far-fetched conspiracies about Kabbalic child trafficking networks and secret operations. By around 2020 to 2021, QAnon and affiliated groups began building specific stories about at least tens of thousands of children being freed from tunnels. Stories which then went viral on social media despite having no corroboration by credible sources. Quick timeline based on available evidence. October 16th, 2019, post by Timothy Charles Holmseth claiming tunnel rescues on beforeitsnews.com. April 2020, beforeitsnews.com amplifies the tunnel rescue narrative. February 7th, 2021, viral Facebook post explicitly claiming children were rescued from the tunnels. March 2021, that's when COVID hit. Additional viral claims of rescues near the White House surface. Important clarifications. These posts and claims are not authenticated reporting and contain no evidence of actual rescues. The investigations by Reuters, AFP, PolitiFact, Lead Stories, and others have repeatedly debunked the idea that military rescues of trafficked children from tunnels ever occurred. These stories often reuse unrelated photos on videos, e.g. COVID-19 field hospitals, to misleadingly support these claims. Primary source examples. Here's a specific source you can follow to see one of the earliest documented posts tied to this narrative. Fact check mentioning Holmseth's claim that over 35 children were rescued. Reuters notes that Holmseth's April 2020 Before It's News article alleged the U.S. military rescues from underground tunnels, but no evidence for such events exists. Viral social media post on February 7, 2021, claiming military tunnel rescue of children. Fact-checking sources documented the existence of these posts and confirmed they were false. Summary. The earliest traceable posts about the military rescues of children from tunnels in the U.S. appeared in late 2019, early 2020 conspiracy postings. So we all know that. If you'd like, I can provide direct links to archived copies of the earliest post and archived context for independent verification. Just let me know. Here are verified links and sources to earliest online posts connected to, quote, children rescued from underground tunnels, close quote, narrative, including archived claims and the origin you asked about and what fact checkers have documented. Also clearly distinguish primary posts, what was posted online, from fact checked evidence about them. Before It's News article, quoting over 35,000 malnourished, caged children rescued. An article was published on April 9, 2020 on Before It's News titled, Over 35,000 Malnourished, Caged Children Rescued Out of U.S. Tunnels by Military. This article claimed U.S. military operations had rescued 35,000 children from underground tunnels in major U.S. cities, including beneath Central Park, and that the rescues were ongoing. It is widely cited as one of the first explicit tunnel rescue posts in the QAnon-related misinformation universe. Earliest specific allegation backdating to 2019. According to later summary reports and archiving of the April 2020 Before It's News article, author Timothy Charles Holmseth claimed he had made a previous post in October 16, 2019, alleging that 2,100 children were rescued, which we've covered And it just seems to be repeated. Number 3, other versions of the story, same period, additional variant, over 50,000 children claim. On or around April 21st, 2020, another online post, often reposted via conspiracy blogs, claimed that over 50,000 traumatized children were rescued from the tunnels. This version appears on sites like operationdisclosure1.blogspot.com, which republishes user-generated content tied to conspiracy narratives. Fact checks on these claims, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know what the answer is. Here's the summary. So I don't know if we're talking 2,100 children, 35,000 children, or 50,000 children. But if you want to add them all up, we're talking, 87,000 children. Direct access to the earlier post. Nope. If you want, I can also retrieve the exact archive snapshot URL or wayback link for the April 9th INFORCE News article. They show you how major fact checkers presented and debunk that specific post on their reports. No, I don't think we need to go there. So my point being behind this, if you look in the description below this video, it'll tell you that the children, put this down somewhere. Oh. But let's just say the youngest child was 2 years old, okay? And the oldest was, what, 10, 12? These are children, not teenagers. So what do y'all want to cap it at? 10, make it easy. So this allegedly happened in 2019. So we can add 7 years to that, just being conservative. So we have children that are 9 to 19 that have had 8, 9 years to get rehabilitated, acclimated back into a home, into society, returned possibly to their parents and relatives, or foster care. And what do kids do these days? They're all over social media. They want to be a superstar. They're always doing all this dumb stuff, right? Well, it's important to them. It's dumb to us. So don't you think there would be some 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 even year-old out there ready to tell their story? Ready to name names? And I bring this up is because these narratives and these, in QAnon, before it's news, real raw news, these people who parrot this garbage, because it's garbage. And it just amazes me that people read this and continue to pass it on as fact. Dinar Chronicles, there's one right there. Seas of the Wisdom, there's another one right there. Neither one of them want to hear the truth. They just want to continue the narrative. Why? Because when they were spreading a falsity, I contacted them to go, hey, that's false. Remove it. I know it's false. I know for a fact it's false. And I'm telling you it's false. Remove it. And they would not remove it. In fact, they continued to run it. And that's who these people are, okay? Because you're just filling their freaking bank account. You go click on their shit, you're filling their bank account. You go read that drivel, you're filling their bank account. That's all they care about. So I went and bumped into a buddy of mine the other day, and I hadn't seen him in about 8 months, maybe. So we're kicking it. I'm like, yeah, man, how you been doing? Blah, 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 talk to him. And I said, we got to talking about the economy, and it's hard for people to save money in this economy. He goes, "Oh, I've been saving money," and I'm saving money. He's got a big family. I'm like, saving money. You got a bunch of kids, man. A bunch of mouths to feed. He goes, "Yeah, man. I've been over on TikTok." He said, "I made about $60,000-$70,000 in 2 or 3 months." I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I made about $60,000-$70,000 in 2 or 3 months." Hold on, you're on TikTok. He goes, yeah, man. I'll be battling against all these rappers and all these other ones. I mean, some of the top TikTokers. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? He goes, yeah. He goes, man, I ain't done it in a couple months. I've been laying low. And I'm like, what? Hold on. You just made $60,000-$70,000 playing around on TikTok for a couple months, and you stop making that kind of money. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I don't have time right now, but you and we're going to sit down. We're going to have a conversation. So whatever the hell I'm doing it wrong. Okay. So I'm going to go get a TikTok collegiate university education from a boy who apparently, I mean, he's, yeah, I'm going to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, that blew me away. He's like one of the top TikTokers. It's like, you? Yeah. These folks are operators involved in 5D warfare against Americans. It's not. They ain't even 5D. They're not hiding this. It's in your face. If you want, listen. What did the Q-tards tell us this entire time? To trust the plan, trust the plan, trust the plan. And guess what? Nobody had the plan. There was never a plan, a tangible plan where you go, yeah, here's the plan. Just read this pamphlet, read this book, read this website, read this PDF, until they published the plan. And they published the plan July 2025. The plan is for full spectrum world dominance in AI. That's the plan, in case you didn't know. So this ain't no 5D shit. Y'all just go watch Sabrina Wallace and listen to some of her technical videos, and she'll have you all twisted up here in a pretzel in no time, explaining to you all the technicalities, all the jargon, show you the seminars, the presentations, the speeches, the white papers, the PDFs, the PowerPoints. We're wired in. We're a node. We're like an antenna node in the network of internet of bodily things. Absolutely. AI can be a good liar. AI is a very good liar. And it's my prediction, because who's the greatest liar of all that we've been historically told, right, was the devil, Satan. The New World Order is an all-seeing eye. AI. They've been telling us all along. Get it? AI. Ha 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 ha. You funny motherfuckers. Thanks for stopping in, DK, over on Rumble. Appreciate you. But I just want to show you this, because these narratives continue to get pushed, like med beds. Okay, let me explain to you something about this, folks. They keep saying it's military technology. Do they not? Do they not keep saying it's military technology? The military has it, right? Let me show you. Listen, if you're in the military, you have a Top Gun pilot, SEAL team member, Delta Force member, Do you know how much money it costs to educate that individual to be a top performer in the military? A lot. Okay? A lot. So if that investment gets damaged, wouldn't you think that if I had the technology, the capability to take my number one test pilot, my number one Top Gun, my number one SEAL Team 6, my number one Delta Force, and put them in a med bed and rehabilitate them and put them back on the front lines instead of putting them in a wheelchair or attaching a prosthetic? People don't look at things with logic and reason. They look at them with hopium. They're so desperate that they overlook everything. They become in denial. And they live their life off all this hopium. And it's insane. I mean, just look at it with logic and reason. Go down to your VFW hall. Go to a veterans hospital. That should tell you everything you need to know about who has med beds and who doesn't have med beds. Right? So when people kept sending me this stuff over and over and over and over and over, I swear to God, it's true. Floyd, you're going to be okay. Your back's going to be fine. You'll be healed. No, I'm not. How come that dude's still in a wheelchair, man? He's up there getting a medal. I'm not. You're trying to make me not believe my lying eyes? What's up? And this goes with everything. It just amazes me. I mean, listen, whoever puts in the effort to write these fantastical stories, God bless them, man. They are talented. I don't know if they use AI, but just, day after day after day to rearrange this entire narrative and tell you that 10 days of darkness and prepare for this, and the med beds are coming, and Nasara Jasara is here, and it's your turn to go do your exchange, and get ready, and blah 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 blah, and none of it's true. And none of it. It's all fantasy. You know how many times I've been told Tier 4B is active? It's sad. It's very sad. Iraq doesn't know what it wants to do. They're having basically a civil war in Iran right now. The people against the government. Iraq's over there going, well, but they don't know what to do. It's like, well, if we go help them, we got Israel over here. They want to bomb our ass, so we got to what's up. So now they're spending money on their defense budget. Came out with their budget, and guess what their 2026 budget is? It's based on a rate of 1,300 to 1. So cancel 2026 on your plans to visit a bank, a redemption center, an exchange center, a military base, to cart your dinar in there and walk out. So y'all can go sit down somewhere. Next. Hey, and I'm one of those. You see me, I'm sitting down. I accept it for what it is. I'm not going to live on this shit every day, Oh, it's tomorrow, Floyd. It's the next 3-day weekend. Oh, don't we have like President's Day? When's President's Day? Does that fall on a Monday or a Friday? No, Trump's going to pull the trigger on July 4th. No, Trump's going to pull the trigger on New Year's Eve. Oh, God. They're going to shut down the IRS. Really? They're going to shut down the Fed. Really? They're going to move the White House. Really? So I'm pretty sure that IRS didn't go anywhere. In fact, it's a key player this year, right? Is that what Trump told you? Federal Reserve. Oh, they're called what? They're doing a $2.3 billion remodel. Okay, not a demolition, a remodel. A remodel. Trump. Oh, Trump went and walked the Federal Reserve. He was a little appalled and taken back at the price tag, but it's not the government's money, or is it? So the Fed didn't go anywhere. Then they said, well, they're going to move. They're going to move the federal government. They're going to relocate it, right? And they're going to flood the whole town. And then they're going to turn it into a museum. Oh, what? Y'all going to do what? Y'all going to expand the White House and put a what ball? Oh, okay. $100 million new ballroom. I guess they're not moving the White House either. I guess they're not going to flood D.C. because the reason I'm making this video, the reason I'm telling you all this, folks, is because we're in a time, okay, in social media, in media, regular media, legacy media, where you're going to get bombarded with what they call AI slop. It's going to look real. It's going to sound real. It may even be a avatar of a real person that you trust or that you idolize, who's going to narrate you and program you to do certain things, to believe certain ways. Okay? It's coming. I'm telling you. And when I see people just pass on this parroted rubbish, it's appalling because everybody's lazy. Everybody's looking for the easiest way to get to that pot of the gold at the end of the rainbow. And let me tell you, folks, I've been doing that for quite some time. And there's no easy way to get to a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Or you just get lucky and have something that the CIA wants. Floyd, shut the fuck up, man. You can't talk about that out loud. Yeah, where they come in and they just, like they're the silent partner, the one with all the money. How much do you need? You need more seed money? Yeah, don't worry. You'll be a billionaire in no time. All of these large companies are merging. Okay. Even though they're their competitors, they're merging. When it comes to AI, they're merging. Okay. And it's going to get real strange. So this is why I tell you, when you hear all this bullshit, if you're not doing your own research and vetting all of it to determine whether it's true or not, because believe me, how people get pulled into these assemblies and these other groups and classes that are teaching people false shit, or and teaching them just enough to string them along to get as much money as they can out of them before the whole thing blows up. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over. And it's going to get better and better and better and better and better. And I just showed y'all, there's people out there, I mean, tearing people's heads off. 10 grand, 8,500 a pop, 100 grand a pop. Yeah, you heard me. 100 grand a pop. I heard that. There's a guru out there that took somebody for 100 grand and didn't give them what they wanted. It's the same shit over and over and over. These people are just taking you down the road to nowhere. You need to learn how to operate on your own, how to self-govern. There's another podcaster out there. I contacted them last night out of the gracious of my own heart because they've changed a little bit on their platform. And in doing so, I was like, hey, great change. Gave them some kudos, some push-ups. But still some cobwebs you need to clean out. Stop passing around bullshit, folks. Okay? Quit sharing false information. If you don't know for 100% fact that it's true, it's been authenticated, don't spread it. Don't pass it off as fact. Don't be that person. Because I know people who've, they've lost their entire life savings. Somehow they got introduced to a guru and then ended up losing all their money. Now they're living in a car or they're homeless, surfing somebody's couch. And it's because the community continues to spread false information. That's fact. Would humanity like something like a med bed? Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. We see all these illustrations of what a med bed could potentially look like. And there's people selling, oh, yeah, come over here and do this therapy, blah, 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 blah. I've done them. I've done the alternative therapies. Don't think I haven't. For my back. Did the biocharger. Did the EE systems. I told you folks, I've done everything. Everything. But thank God people aren't sending me this drivel anymore. They post it over in my Telegram every now and then, and I just let it roll. I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to chastise them because they just won't see through it. Because once you change that, they really don't have anything to do. You've taken everything from them, all the hope, all the narrative, all that. Sorry. Go live life. Go learn. Go build a trust for your family, for you, for your grandkids, or for your favorite charity or foundation or whatever, nonprofit. Go educate yourself. Go learn a new skill. Instead of hanging out on these damn channels all day, listening to these people tell you all these bullshit stories. Oh, I'm talking to so-and-so. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And our government's not going anywhere. If you see anything, the United States government is cranking up. Yep. No, not $1 trillion. We need $1.5 trillion for our military. That's a lot of money. Talking about Colombia, Greenland. Oh, we're just going to hopscotch and just start playing Monopoly and picking up these properties. Right? So we can own the board. But these are all strategic moves. Just heard yesterday, guess who's taking over the fentanyl distribution market? India, not China. If y'all don't know, there's quite a few pharmaceuticals that come from India that we get here in the States. India is a huge pharmaceutical producer. So it seems, why wouldn't they make fentanyl? The United States have an appetite for it. Well, supply and demand, baby. Have to ask yourself, was the whole illegal immigration deliberately done? What about the fraud? Have y'all been following the fraud? Did you know that they just created a new division at the IRS to track down tax fraud? Courtesy of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the $9 billion fraud. So, everybody who's doing these IRS processes that are on the edge, well, there'll be a division in the IRS just for you. Oh, IRS is going away. Trump's going to do that. Thanks, Q-tards. Appreciate that. I encourage everybody, if you have not, you should go read what the agenda is. Go read the executive order for the Stargate AI project that was done in January 20th, I believe, of last year. And then go read the July AI, this thing. If you haven't read it, I read it for you. Wasn't that kind of me? It's 28 pages. Winning the Race, AI, America's AI Action Plan. Here's the plan, folks. Okay? Here's the plan the fucking Q-tard's been selling you this entire time. Quoting Donald Trump, today, a new frontier of scientific discovery lies before us, defined by transformative technologies such as artificial intelligence. Breakthroughs in these fields have the potential to reshape the global balance of power, spark entirely new industries, and revolutionize the way we live and work. As our global competitors race to exploit these technologies, it is a national security imperative for the United States to achieve and maintain unquestioned and unchallenged global technological dominance. To secure our future, we must harness the full power of American innovation. Close quote, Donald Trump, 45th and 47th President of the United States. So, the United States will achieve and maintain unquestioned, unchallenged world full spectrum dominance in AI. The new world order is an all-seeing eye, a capital I, AI. If you go want to read this some more, these are facts, folks. These are not rumors. This is not gossip. This is not real raw news before it's news. Judy Byington, Dinar Chronicles, all these other parroters of false information. This is your United States government, your president telling you exactly what the fucking plan is. And just so you know, there's a thing called the National Wastewater Surveillance System, where all wastewater all over the United States is monitored, tested. Absolutely. And all you have to do is read this, folks. And you can go read what the plan really is. And the plan is for world domination. AI is going to run everything. All of these countries have to rescale their military hardware because the way wars are going to be fought are completely different from the traditional way, where you're going to like take a tank and you're going to fly it to another country, and you're going to drop it out of a plane, or you're going to take it by ship, and what all that looks like. Now you just send a swarm of drones. Now, completely different warfare, completely different narrative. So when people tell you all this stuff, it's listen, it's garbage. I hate to be the one to pop your damn bubble, but most of it's garbage. 99 out of 100 of these gurus out here are just like, they're just collecting the check, and you're helping them. Every time you watch their videos, they're telling you, hey, this is where you're going, this is what you're going to do. It's wasting your time. The Iraqi dinar is not close to revaluing. They're literally in the middle of a war. No telling what's going to go on with Iran and Israel. No telling what the government of Iran will do to take still and maintain control. No telling what the United States is going to do in Iran, Colombia, Greenland, Venezuela. So we're still in Venezuela. And as I said, expect announcement for some type of a military base in Venezuela. That'll come. Pete will probably tell us that. Have a big, whatever. So anyway, that's it, man. There are no children. There were no children. Now, to close this out, are there children in deep underground military bases? And I can't even tell you. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. I can't even tell you. But yes, absolutely. As well as adults. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on down there. Just look up Plum Island, Plum Island, Plum Island. Okay. That's also going on down there. But there were no rescues. There were no thousands of children. They would be all over social media. They'd be on TikTok. They'd be on Twitter. They'd be on all these social media platforms talking about their experiences. Are they not already? Tonight at 7 p.m., I will be back with Stephen Gladstone's Secret Societies by the Numbers. And we're going to talk about his participation in the music industry, as well as satanic rituals, ceremonies, Satanism, and of course the ever popular adrenochrome. We're going to talk about all that, put the numbers together, see what that comes up with. I'm going to get Stephen to slow it down a little bit. because he talks so fast. So I want the audience to be able to keep up this time. So he'll be on, and then Monday 7 p.m. Central on the 12th, I will have Leonard Skinner plane crash survivor Mark Howard on the show. So I'm very humbled, looking forward to that. So I haven't seen Mark in a long time. We've talked on the phone, but yeah, you're gonna hear some crazy ass stories. I don't know how long we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk for quite a while because he's been there, done it, and I'm gonna have him on the show more often because he just lives right across town from me. Pass a get down, Dana. So one of these days we're gonna go over and hang out and watch some live music. That's what we're all about. And then if you did not catch me on New Year's over at my boy's McMansion, I talked to him yesterday, and I have secured his residence for a private fashion show for 2 designers. Pull those up for you. This is she is friends with my friend who's a designer. This is Brenna Black. She's a Houstonian. She's a very multi-talented, gifted entrepreneur. Most of these shots are her. She sells lingerie. She has a lingerie line. I guess this is her shop. I haven't met her yet. And this just goes on like this for days. I mean, like I said, she's gifted, talented. She's an actress, model. Anyway, that's her. Brenna Black. And there it is. And this is Brandon. Get my ass out the way. It's my boy Brandon's stuff. That's actually Brandon right there. But he's going to do a whole nother line for this new show. So there you go. So we're going to do a private invitation only fashion show. I mean, it'll be very upscale, believe me. So have lingerie and Brandon's new design. We're going to put that together, doing that. So as you see, Matt, I'm always busy. I'm always hustling. I'm always grinding. I'm always trying to hook everybody up. We're also, Juan's going to shoot a movie. His next script has 2 mansions in it, and found the second mansion. So yeah, looking forward to doing all this, man. This is what it looks like when you're out there hustling, grinding, and moving and shaking, and playing with the power players. I need to call Juan. He was talking to a worldwide distribution company yesterday. So yeah, big things are happening. Big things are moving. So thank you, everybody. Look, just look for the truth. Use your own logic and reason. Don't listen to the hopium. You know, and I understand if you're desperate and you want it so badly that you just are in denial and refuse to see the red flags. But sometimes you have to pull off those rose-tinted glasses to see the red flags. I'll see y'all tonight at 7 with Stephen Gladstone. Good night, everybody.